Well, it's took me about 24 hours to sort of do this review video. We're here to talk about Grimsby Town 2, Crawley Town 3, which happened yesterday at Blundell Park. I'm going to give my opinion on these sort of people that are talking about the Hurst out brigade again. I've got a little bit to talk about that as well. My opinion and basically why I think what happened, why we lost yesterday. Let me get the words right. There you go. But what we'll do, we'll start off to let you know that it did end 3-2 to Crawley. Grimsby didn't really start too well. We started a bit sluggish, really. It wasn't a blistering start by the Mariners. In fact, probably when we first scored, I think Crawley were ever so slightly on top. They were having a little better of the game, but obviously then the Mariners, they did score. We scored on the 24th minute, and it was a sort of like a good sort of pot shot from Aboisa, who came back in. Obviously Danny Rose was the one that was injured, so they didn't get in, but he took a pot shot, hit the top of the bar, came out, and Gav was there, Gavlar, he was there to knock the ball back in the back of the net to make it 1-0, and all was rosy at that point. Everything was going like a dream, and like you'd want to, unbeaten at home up until then, and then Abo to score the second. He had a good run at the defender, cut back inside on his right, and slotted the ball past the keeper for 2-0. And at that point, you're thinking this could be any scoreline. He scored that on the 30th minute. So 2 goals in 6 minutes, and then it started to sort of, everyone thought, my God, this is going to be great. Another win and another important 3 points. And oh boy, it didn't stay that way, did it? Grimsby at that point really felt like they were dominating, and for those 5-6 minutes they were, really. It was mainly all Grimsby, and then it started to turn because 2 minutes later Crawley got a goal back. I don't know where the guy actually meant it. It looked like it was more like a cross shot. From the angle that I had, you could see that the Eastwood was not going to reach it, and it was if it was meant, it was very well directed right into the top corner. Obviously, they scored that. Kelly on 32 minutes. Then Darcy. For some reason, we then did the switch off, which is what Town can be capable of. We just switched off, and to be fair, we got punished. And we ended up going from 2-0 up to 2-2 in 5 minutes. So all in all, within 10 minutes, there was 4 goals. And but again, the judgments of the players were off. To be 2 up and then to lose the lead so quickly afterwards. Great goal, good crossing, and great volley. Nobody was marking him though, but a great volley into the back of the net for Darcy. And then Grimsby were trying. We put the effort in. We were trying desperately to try and get. We tried to get a foothold back in it, and we kind of did. In the second half, we did have some good chances. We didn't really look like conceding much in that second half. We had a couple of good chances, decent decent opportunities. It was good to see Donovan Wilson getting about 10-15 minutes. There was, I believe, a penalty shout just into injury time. Not for me, in my opinion. Hurst was pretty sure of it. I think there was one earlier on Gav as well. No, not really, but it was petering out probably to a draw. And my saying's always been, if you can't win the game, don't lose it. And what makes it sickening is we lost it. In the 96th minute of the game, Crawley had a chance down, I think it was down our left hand side. We shielded that quite well. Then they passed it out into the middle. Well, not the middle, but the just outside the 18-yard line, and they crossed it. They crossed past it, forced to put it across into a very, very dangerous area, and Danilo orsi was just there to tap it in for the very late winner for Crawley. And all I can say is I was sick. I was absolutely sick as you can imagine, a guy who was sat next to me turned around and said, "Inevitable." And I just said back, it had to be, didn't it? Back in August, we had Danilo orsi on our books. 6 weeks later, he's coming back and has caused a lot of frustration in the fan base. But it's just, I was talking to certain people on social media after the game. I was reading a lot of things as well, and someone said, "What do you put that loss down to?" There's only one thing. You put it down to decision making from the midfield and the defenders. The decision making is not up to scratch right now. You shouldn't be losing a game from 2-0 up, and you damn well certain shouldn't be conceding 2 goals in 3 minutes after you've just gone 2 up. I mean, it's, what do you say? We had one last chance right before the end, but didn't in the end come of anything. Rakeel Pike's getting a lot of criticism right now. I'm not judging him yet, because at the end of the day, I always give players time, and I give managers time and this lot, but there's no doubt I can understand and agree with a lot of the frustration of the fan base for this one. And it is unacceptable to be 2-0 up and then to come away, especially at home, come away with nothing, and it was one of those kind of games that I literally couldn't believe that we'd blown it. And it's the right term for it. Grimsby blew that. And as good as Issa was, and as good as Holohan was, and as good as Otis Khan had a good start, good restart, and things like that. As good as a few of the players were, Eastwood wasn't bad. Eastwood didn't have a bad game, to be completely honest. I've seen worse goalkeeping performances, but it really wasn't the way that we wanted to celebrate the 145th anniversary for the Mariners. But unfortunately, we came out potless and no points, and Crawley went back down south with in the end, it's a deserved 3-2 win and 3 points for them. Now I'm just going to talk a little bit about the backlash or the aftermath of this defeat. There's a lot of fans stinging right now about Paul Hurst's future. We're not holding leads, which we're not, to be honest with you. I'll agree with fans on that. Now, I've always been one of Paul Hurst's biggest supporters, and I will still continue to be. I think people asking for Paul's head, ridiculous. I'm sorry, it's just ridiculous. I know this defeat, though, is going to rile up the Hurst Out Brigade because, we've lost a game that probably technically shouldn't have done. My opinion is no. No, I'm not going to deal with that crap saying that he deserves to go and this team's worse than last year and all this sort of rubbish. And I will call it rubbish, and I call it rubbish simply due to the fact that what I find funny is Town win. Let's say Town win next week, where the dogs bollocks, and then we lose the following week, and we're the worst team that's ever played. It's the worst. Is that the next thing that's going to come out of people's mouths? I do believe that Paul needs to accept that was not good enough, and it was not good enough. I think that we'll have a game like that in the season where we'll win from a position where we shouldn't have done. But where I understand some of the frustration is we shouldn't be losing like that, and it is starting to get concerning because of the amount of leads we have had that we've actually lost, and it's something that needs to be addressed. Only Paul and the players can address those, but I'm also going to put the blame on the whole lot. I'm not picking out just one player. I'm not picking out one person. We lose as a team. The team weren't good enough on the day, and definitely not defensively, and that needs to be worked on. And we just need to cut out really stupid little errors and stupid decisions that the players are making on the pitch. Back to my point about Paul, I'm nowhere near the Hurst Out Brigade because, like I said, we win a game, we're winning the league, we're the best team here. We lose a game, we're the worst team that's ever played in a Grimsby Town shirt. So I don't buy into that narrative. I don't buy into that. The way I look at it is, Paul is the best person we could get right now. That doesn't mean that I accept collapses like that. And it was a collapse. It was a sheer collapse, and I think we've got to get back to doing the basics well, because what Grimsby didn't do after we got the lead, we didn't do the basics very well. We made it a bit too easy for Crawley to come back into it, and it's proven how vulnerable you are after you've just scored, and unfortunately, that leaves the table where Crawley are up into 4th with 17 points, and Grimsby dropped down to 17th on 10 from 9. But if you look just quickly here, Grimsby have 52% of the ball to Crawley's 48. Here's the difference: Town had 18 shots, and 7 of those were on target. Crawley had 13 shots, and every shot they had on target was a goal. That is clinical upon clinical, and that's where you have to give Crawley the credit. When they had the chances, they took them. But the last goal, even I was very disappointed with. Danilo also deserves a lot of credit. He didn't celebrate after the goal went in. I'd always say don't mind if you do, but it shows the courtesy that he has for us as a club, to as a fan base, to not do it, because it'll feel like he's rubbing it in our faces. But I'd also say, if there hadn't have been any fans in that section, I'd say as long as it's to your fans, Danilo, share your heart out, lad. But that's a nice little credit from Danilo that, but he did his job. He was right where he needed to be, and, any kind of spillage, that's where you want your strikers to be. So I think we've just got to move on from this. We've got to move on, and yes, disappointing, yes, frustrating. I'm angry. I'm quite melancholy about it. I think we have to just do the basics better, and that's basically this. The basics and the decision making has to be better. There was over 6,000 fans in there at Blundell Park yesterday, and they deserve better from a decision standpoint. The referee was not consistent. I think he did give Crawley more decisions than he gave Grimsby, but we can't use that as an excuse as to why we lost. We lost because of the decision making, and we lost because we switched off, and we probably thought we were already there. I think we're all probably clear cut of that. But guys, leave me your thoughts down below. What did you guys honestly think, and what do you think of my opinion? No, I wouldn't get rid of Paul Hurst yet. He's only lost 2 straight games. Let's see how he goes throughout October, and see how many wins he can pick up throughout October. And you never know, my opinion may change, who knows. But leave your comments about the game down below and on social media for me. Please hit that like button, hit the bell button. That'll let you know when I upload some new content. I will be back with another preview for Grimsby next weekend's game, when we head to Swindon to take on Mickey Flynn and his Swindon side. So that will be interesting. I will be back to all previews in the next couple of weeks. Can't guarantee it this week, but in the next couple of weeks I'll be back to doing full previews of National League, of Football League, of League 2, and of Grimsby, of course. But there will be a Grimsby preview and a League 2 preview coming up this week. National League, I haven't forgotten about you. You will be back in October, I promise you that. I am keeping an eye on that league, by the way, but I will be back with a video for them in the near future. Anyway, Grimsby fans, this is for you. Leave your comments, and are you Hurst in? Are you Hurst out? Are you how disappointed are you with the loss? Who do you blame for the loss? And like I said, my opinion is I blame all of them. I blame everybody for the loss. I don't blame one singular person. Let me know down below what you think, and I will see you guys very soon with the next preview, which, like I said, will be when Grimsby head to Swindon. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Bye.